So, welcome to DVD TV. It is the match review of yesterday's events. It is the afternoon after the day before. Welcome, Navicci from the United Show. Essa, you know what to do. Link to his latest video. Please go check out his review of yesterday's 1 minute clip. Is out. Link is in the description in this video below. So, you know what to do with these things. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get my guy up. But my brother, on a less positive note, Leicester City 4, Manchester United 2. Firstly, give me your thoughts. The lineup came out. Give me your lineup thoughts first and foremost. Let's start there, my brother.
How's it? How's it, Devin? Hope you're good. Saturday of the Premier League was quite good, except for our game. So, bro, just looking at the team, looking at the lineup, rather, as soon as it was released. So, whenever a team releases a lineup via social media, they have the lineup in the picture, and they always have a player next to it. So, the player that they chose to put in that picture was Harry Maguire, and I thought to myself, oh shit, because prior, the day before, Ole Maguire in the press conference, openly telling everybody, Harry Maguire only trained once on grass, which was the same day, which was Friday, if I'm not mistaken, which basically says Harry Maguire is out of it. Even if he is coming to play, he's not going to play because he's obviously not match fit. He's coming back from an injury. And yeah, Ole Maguire puts him in straight in the mix, and sure, it was good. It was bad. It was. I'm sure you probably watched the game and probably see the yellow memes about what happened, and they tore apart Harry Maguire.
Yeah,
But other than that, when I looked at the team sheet, I was very happy because we had Pogba, Matic in the pivot. We had Ronaldo up front, Sancho, Greenwood, who scored an absolute banger. So in terms of the team sheet, it was pretty. It was very decent. Like I just think to myself, hey, bro, Eric Bailly must have slept with all his wives sometime because he just doesn't get selected. Brack might be injured. Eric Bailly will not get selected. So, hey, bro, it's a funny one.
Do you honestly look? I looked at it and I saw you guys going one up, one ahead with a stunning goal. I must admit. Obviously Maguire had a shit game, but we all know. We've seen Maguire memes all over the show. I don't want to harp too much on about it. I know McFred, they have their critics as well, but what I want to ask you is, Ole mentioned a couple of weeks ago that McFred give energy to the midfield, which give the energy. Pogba and Matic give that passing, but of course they lack the energy. Do you feel that maybe that is where the problem came in, where you guys needed that defensive mid, a la a Declan Rice or a Calvin Phillips, that type of thing, to solve that problem, basically? Because yesterday looked nothing different. Madison and Tielemans were still getting space in those little pockets behind your midfield.
Yeah. So look, what this proved to me, as well as a lot of other United fans, is that whether Ole has a good midfield or a bad midfield, he will still make sure that the midfield plays shit. And you know what was interesting about yesterday's game is that Brendan Rodgers, he came in, I think he played a 3-5-2. So with a formation like that, you're basically telling everybody that we're gonna overrun the midfield. That's what they're gonna do, and that's exactly what they did. And you see, the thing is, like a lot of people will say, yeah, this is why we need McFred back and all this nonsense, which is absolute shit. Because I want to watch good football. I don't want to watch football where it looks like we're not trying to lose, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer harps on constantly about the United DNA, the attacking DNA, and how we need to keep on pushing for that. So how does that in McFred? How does it gel? It just doesn't gel. So obviously that doesn't work. And you see, the problem is with a midfield like what we played yesterday, and with any midfield, you need to give your midfield space to play. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but when United are playing, it's like the front three press, or they try to press, but in the rest of the team they don't press. I don't know if you've ever, or if anybody who's going to watch this video, I don't know if anybody noticed that. So if the whole team doesn't press, how do you expect the press to work?
Exactly.
So it's the whole thing is just off, man. But yeah, that's how I'll answer your midfield question, because as I said, whether it's a good midfield or a bad midfield, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shows that he can't handle it. He
It
just
doesn't
can't.
happen.
Doesn't have to
For
coach them
me,
and tell
for
them this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Because when Matic and Pogba get the ball, they look for passes so many times. And if you look at other teams, let's just refer to the top three again: Chelsea, City, Liverpool. When their midfielders get the ball, they already know where they're going to pass. They already know where they're looking. Our midfielders look almost clueless. And for me,
exactly.
that's not a bad thing on the player. That's a bad thing on the coaching aspect of it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Now I hear you fully and I agree with you because I looked at it and I'm like thinking to myself, there's no system. Like you've said it
there's
many
no
a time.
system.
You've said it many a time. Individual brilliance is only gonna get you thus far. How long can you
Mm.
rely on it? But I wanna ask you now. I know you want him gone. Obviously with the sticky run that you've got coming up, how long do you think he can come through this? Because I mean, yesterday was like you mentioned to me, was an off form Leicester team. They have the injury troubles and usually gets through this, but that's first test failed already. Bearing the fact that you've got Atalanta in the week, Liverpool,
Mm.
City coming up, Chelsea, Tottenham, etc., that type of thing. How do you think he can come through it, or would you pull the plug now?
Look, obviously, if myself and the majority of fans had to say, we would have pulled the plug last season already against Villarreal. So, in all fairness, as much as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his coaches are going through an absolute mistake of bad form, they're not going anywhere. I'll tell you why I say so, right? So I wrote down a couple of things because I wanted to like make sure this is out there. So directly after the match yesterday, a football journalist by the name of David Ornstein. I don't know if you've ever seen his name before.
Is the Arsenal mouthpiece
Yeah, he's an Arsenal mouth, but ultimately he's a well-respected football
at,
journalist, right?
at the
So
Athletic?
directly, yeah, the Athletic UK. So directly after the game, David Ornstein is saying that the club have advised him, or basically the club has basically told him that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is being backed 100% by the club despite the form. And I don't want to be hearing that after a loss because that tells me that this coach just caught on the world of crap. And the first thing you want to tell us as the fans is that the coach is going nowhere. Which well-run club does that besides my club as well as your club?
My club, exactly what I'm saying. The thing is, we're in the same boat, my bro, because the way I look at it is our boards are not ruthless enough. If you look at as City and Chelsea, both Arteta and Ole would have been gone long time already.
Long
Arteta
time.
would have been gone. Arteta would have been gone long last year already.
Mm.
Ole would have been gone after this because there's no way they don't care. Like I mean, Chelsea, perfect example. They don't care about legendary status. Let's be realistic. Ole and Oteta aren't on the level of Lampard, but Roman didn't give two flying shits. Roman said,
Mm.
"You know what? I gave you money. You taking us into the bus to hell with us, and look now they've got a proper coach." So that's my personal opinion. They're spineless from top to bottom, and the snag is they've backed him already. Like I mean, you can honestly see they've backed Ole. So them sacking him is gonna make them look even like more mugs. And the fact that they're
Mm.
giving the backroom staff as well that massive contract. We spoke about Mike Phelan
Massive
being given a contract,
contracts.
that
And you know
massive
what?
contract 2 weeks ago. Go ahead.
It's also very frustrating, right? So it doesn't take a trained football eye to see that Manchester United squad at the moment is one of the best squads, one of the most
That's it.
star-studded squads in Europe. And you can clearly see that it's being mismanaged because you can't tell me that all these players, especially Ronaldo is Ronaldo, bruh.
Exactly.
Ronaldo's been scoring. He's been scoring no matter. I mean, he went to Juventus. Juventus, like one would argue that he obviously didn't have the best squad around him, and he
Exactly.
was like he was the man at Juventus because even though Juventus were having crap seasons, they weren't playing good football. He still came out of there as top scorer in La Liga, if I'm not mistaken, almost every
Yeah.
season. I think he missed out
Mm,
once to Immobile.
mm. Yeah.
And guess what? Oli is almost single-handedly in the matter of what less than a month is making sure that Ronaldo doesn't score. And
Exactly.
I'll tell you when I think Oli will be on his way out.
When
When Rio Ferdinand, Paul Scholes, and what's his name, Gary Neville.
Gary
As soon
Neville.
as those pundits come out and then they start to criticize Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and
Exactly.
say, "Hey, look, what is the shape, what is the tactics, what is this is not working. As soon as they come out and openly do it, as they did in the area of Van Gaal as well as
And Mourinho.
Mourinho, that is when we
Exactly.
will start to see something happen. Because at the moment you're having all these three brassa and everybody is saying, nobody's calling Oli out in his bullshit or his coaches.
Hmm.
Everybody's saying, oh my god, look at Pogba, look at Ronaldo, look at Bruno,
Exactly.
look at this person. I think to myself, didn't you guys see the example of Chelsea last season? Chelsea had one of the
Exactly.
still has one of the most
One of the
star-studded
best.
squads that they are, and they got in a new manager and everything flipped around. So
Exactly.
you can't blame it on the players the whole time. You really
Exactly.
can't, especially with the squad that we have.
I agree with you. And they won't do it, my bro, because they are his buddies. They are buddies with him. They won't do it. You know what I mean? That's
Mm.
it's the same like us with Martin fucking Keown. He played for us for how many years? He still won't sell. Or he says no, he's on Talk Sport. No, he doesn't want to talk bad about the club. Just call it as it is. Just before
Call
we
it
end
as it
off,
is.
I want to ask your thoughts on the Pogba interview. What were your thoughts about it? You gave a scathing
Hey,
attack. Well, give me your thoughts on that just before we close off.
I personally, that was the highlight of my weekend. I'll tell you why it's the highlight of my weekend. Because look, every time we play shit or we play bad football, and unfortunately, we can only call it bad football when we either draw or when we lose. Because when we win, everybody forgets how bad the football is. And everybody says, Ollie's at the wheel, Ollie's at the wheel. So, for what Pogba said, it was the most honest thing that I've ever heard coming out of anything United related in the last couple of months. Because you get Ollie will say, we don't tackle enough, we don't shoot enough, we don't pass enough. He talks a lot of cuck instead of
With a
talking
smile
about
on his face as
tactics.
well.
Yeah, and Pogba's face just said it all. Because if there was a face, if we can personify the hashtag Ollie out, it would be Pogba's face during that interview. Because he said that, look, we've been having this type of game for a long time, and we as fans have been seeing it. This type of game where nothing just comes off. The tactics don't work. We're not playing towards any of the players' strengths, quite frankly. I mean, how is it that we're seeing such a different Paul Pogba in France? You want to tell me, oh no, because he doesn't play for the badge? My
Exactly.
guy, like, I mean, yes, international football is very different from club, but I mean, there
Fair enough.
can't be that big of a gap, man. They really can't.
True.
So when I heard
Yeah.
Pogba say, I was very happy, because somebody actually called Ollie out on something. Instead of saying we're gonna bounce back, we have to regroup. We're gonna bounce back. We're gonna bounce back. Whole time, bounce back.
100%,
FC.
man.
That's what we are, bruh. Manchester bounce back, bruh. United. That's what we are. And I said, it was just so refreshing to see Pogba actually call him out. And I don't know if you noticed, but I think directly after that they interviewed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and they told him, "Look, this is what Paul said."
What
I
Paul
don't know if you
said,
saw
yeah.
his face; he almost looked like, "Oh shit!"
He was shocked, yeah.
Somebody's saying something that we didn't give them the script for. That's
Exactly.
the way that I feel. Because
Mm,
I mean, Rashford is, yes, he came back, but on Instagram he's saying we'll bounce back. Everybody is saying we'll bounce back, but you have Pogba coming out and saying we deserve to lose. Something you've never
losing.
ever heard from Manchester United,
Exactly.
especially Ali. So
True.
I was very happy that Paul Pogba came out and said what he said.
Love. I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. It's nice to hear him calling out, but he's always been a straight guy. Navicci, again, I want to thank you for jumping on, my bro. We'll chat again soon, guys. You know what to do. Subscribe to Navicci's thing. The link to his latest videos in the description. Slap a like on that video, and we're out of here. Cheers, beloved.
Cheers.